Hi. Oh my goodness. I am so happy to be here with you. Thank you for making time, Keith and Jesse and Mike and Chris and Veronica and Scott and Jim and we all made it. Palm Beach, my hometown. Thank you so much for joining me on Wednesday, wherever you are. Cheers from me to you. I hope you are having a great start to the week. I love this moment that we get to have together every Wednesday. It's always so fun for me and so exciting. And so I hope it is fun and exciting for you as well. I'm really always interested in the dialogue that we have and the sort of back and forth. That's the whole reason I started Coffee with Kim 2 years ago now, or a year and a half ago, was that I was going on all these coffee meetings with all these amazing entrepreneurs and founders and business people. And it was awesome. And I was getting all of these golden nuggets over coffee, which is kind of where all the aha moments were going on. And it was amazing. And I realized that's where the genius was coming from, these very moments over coffee with James and Colin and Mark and, everyone from around the world. And so these moments were really special. And I also know that meeting with all of these amazing individuals is such a privilege and such a unique opportunity. And so something that I was thinking a lot about this week when it came to opportunities and privilege and thinking a little bit bigger than myself was, should I share that? These people that I've been having coffee with, obviously it's usually just me and them. And then I, have all these coffee meetings and interactions with people, and I sort of distill the parts that give the spark for me and I give them to you. I sort of pass the spark on. And so, but it made me think that's only the sparks that I'm seeing. And maybe there are sparks that you might see that I might not see. And so I'm wondering what you think about bringing some of these individuals that I have coffee with on here with us. Or we can just keep it us. I don't know. What do you think? Like, should a yes, a no? I mean, I think these people are fascinating, or else, I wouldn't be bringing their nuggets back to you every week. Like I said, they're entrepreneurs, they're business people, they're authors, they're podcast hosts. I mean, fascinating people. So I don't know. I can save them a seat too, and kind of have them pop on for 15 minutes and, maybe spark some things for you that I might not have seen, because I can only get so many sparks. So, all right, Nate's in for guests. And by the way, it's totally fine if you're like, listen, Kim, I kind of want you to go out and do all the work. You go out and do all the hard work, and then bring that hard work, distill it all, and we'll just kind of like copy your homework. I'm totally fine with copying homework too. We're all adults here. It's all good. So just know, if you're like, copy the homework, that's fine too. But I feel like, Veronica, Mark, I don't know. Okay, great. So we're getting some guesses. I like that. Okay. I'm going to brainstorm some of my friends to join us on here and to hear some interesting tidbits about what they could maybe spark in you, because I know they spark a whole lot in me. And so I think there's things that you could probably pick up that I couldn't. And I know, I'm meeting with them digitally anyways now, because by the way, I used to meet them for real coffees. I don't know if you guys remember those real life coffees. But now I meet them on digital coffees, on House Party and Teams and Zoom and FaceTime. And so, it wouldn't be that much different. It just, instead of it being a private thing with me and them, I would pull up a seat to our table that we have every Wednesday. So, I think that could be kind of fun. So yeah, I feel like, these digital meetings have been great. I don't know. The digital meetings have been great for me in terms of like the coffee breaks, because I stay away from the bakery, which is my biggest coffee vice. When I go to meet people, I'm like, I should definitely have the chocolate croissant for sure, or that cookie, or whatever it is next to the coffee that looks amazing. Although hopefully, we'll start to, I should, Jeff, I should bring Oprah. That'd be great. She would probably love to come on here, actually. And so, I'm so used to having like these coffee meetings out in real life. And so, I hope that we can get back to that soon. I know I'm down in Texas, and so we are in phase 2 right now, which means the restaurants can be up to 50%. And then next week we go into phase 3, which is the restaurants can be at 75% capacity. And I think anyone can be outside, that there's no restrictions on that. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I feel like even whether you're in phase 2 or phase 3 or wherever you are, I still feel like we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go, especially in terms of small businesses and supporting small businesses, not the big chains, not your McDonald's and Red Lobster and Olive Garden, but your mom and pop Italian place around the corner, and that coffee shop you love that's run by that really nice couple. Those are the places that are really, really going to be suffering, I think, no matter what phase you're on. And so I was really excited when I saw this resource, that I was thinking to myself, oh my God, like I have got to share this on Wednesday when I get together with you, because I'm obsessed with it. And I think you're going to be obsessed with it too. And it's called helpmainstreet.com. It also has an Instagram handle, which is Help Main Street. And it's amazing. You're going to love it. And so what it does is it curates small businesses online, and it allows you to buy gift cards or order directly from these small business restaurants without going through a third party. So I don't know if you realize this, but I didn't quite. I knew that there were fees involved with things like Grubhub and Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these delivery services, but I didn't realize like how much, because it's like a thing. The fees that these people charge. I mean, Grubhub charges 30 to 40% of your order does not go to the restaurant. It goes to the service. Uber Eats is 30. DoorDash and Caviar are 25. So you think you're doing a great thing by ordering from your local business until you realize 40% isn't going to the local business. And you're like, well, that defeated the purpose of me ordering from the local business. And so Help Main Street is so great because it takes you directly into a portal where you can order straight from the business. Amazing. And they take 0%. It's totally a pass-through. And I thought this was genius. And you can just type in your zip code, has everything on there. I was like, wow. So I now, moving forward, I'm going to be ordering all of my like food delivery. Oh, it's Friday night pizza night, whatever. All of that is going through. Oh, Veronica, helpsmallbusiness.com. Thank you. Didn't realize that was a thing too, but that's great. That's another one. So Help Main Street, Help Small Business. Great. I don't want to say don't order from the apps, but kind of don't order from the apps. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe just don't do that. Or the gift cards. Also good. And, birthdays, we're still in this pandemic, so we're still social distancing. So gift cards are always a great birthday idea. If you can't go to a birthday party with somebody, I think this is a great resource for us to continue to help small businesses. And I know you guys are like, Kim, get off your soapbox about small businesses, but I will not get off my soapbox, because small business, you'll hear me say this, like Wall Street is going to be fine. I'm sorry. They're going to be good. Main Street, us regular folk, yeah, we gotta band together So I'm not going to get off the soapbox about it. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep bringing you, we had bookshelf.org last week. This week it's Help Main Street. I'm going to keep pushing local businesses and, people that keep our economy afloat. So deal with it. I also, on your advice, launched a poll. If you haven't seen it, I think I launched it yesterday morning about when to release the LinkedIn course, the crisis course for small businesses. I know you gave me the advice last week to see what other people were thinking, or maybe I still like the idea of the 1 p.m. on Friday to 1 p.m. on Saturday, because I can only release it for free for 24 hours. So, okay, bye, Chris. I know lunch is over. Thank you for coming. It's one of those things that I only have 24 hours to release it. So the other thing I was going to look into, because if you haven't seen the poll right now, it's a tie. I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I literally just put weekday, weekend. And in retrospect, I should have probably made it more specific, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Which would you pick? I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I just put weekend. They're like 50-50 right now. So if you haven't voted, please go vote. I'm also going to see if they're close enough. Maybe I can release it twice. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that. So I don't even want to say that I'm allowed to do that. But if I am, maybe I release it once on the weekday and once on the weekend. We'll see how that's going to go, because again, I'm all about the learning. I'm all about helping small businesses. And again, you can, if you want to gift the course to somebody, it costs $9.95. So, it's not a huge cost, but I just hate the idea of a small business not being able to afford something. It just makes me crazy. And I know it's important for people to learn. And so, speaking of paying and learning, okay, I have to tell you about a new company that I heard about from my friend Charlie. He works at Brooklyn Bridge Ventures in New York City. And he was telling me about this. And I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. So I spend anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes a day reading articles, industry newsletters, all that sort of stuff. Consuming, again, learning, 30 to 45 minutes a day, reading articles. And it's so important. And you've heard me talk about it. But what would kind of annoy me, and I don't know if this happens to you, is maybe I get a newsletter and they give a blurb, and then they're like, read the full article in the Wall Street Journal, or read the full article in the Atlantic, or read the full article in whatever. And I would click and I would hit a paywall. And I'd be like, shoot, I know I have a login and password. I pay for the Wall Street Journal, but do I pay for the Atlantic? I can't remember. Do I have a password? What is it? What's the username? No idea. And so it would really annoy me, because I couldn't read the article. And so this genius company, it's called Nickel Pass. It's basically like a nickel, but minus the E, Nickel Pass. Anyways, you pay them and they source all the payments to all of these different platforms. It's so genius. So you have a login for them. So right now they're launching, I think they still have a free trial up where you can log in and try to get a free trial. If it's full, get on the waiting list for sure. I've been using it. You are going to be obsessed with this. And it's really easy. It's like $12 a month, $13 a month, and you can read anything. And why I feel good about it is I think that there's still integrity with paying for real news and paying for journalism. These amazing reporters who win these Pulitzer Prizes, they should be paid for their work. And I think we've gotten a little spoiled by everything being free. And just because it's free, by the way, doesn't mean it's good. You can write lots of free articles on Facebook. It does not mean they are good. And so these journalists who sometimes can spend months on a story or on, lots of stories, they should be paid. Absolutely. And so Nickel Pass is this just amazing example of how you can pay for individual articles, but you don't have to deal with all the usernames and logs in and password and did I pay for this and and maybe you don't want to pay for a full subscription to The Atlantic because you only want to read 2 articles a month. They take care of this for you. It's so amazing. It's so great. Anyways, I had to share it with you because I was just like, oh my God, you are going to love this. And so I did something this week, which was, I love this so much that I sent an email to the founder. I went on their website, nicolepass.com. I went on the About Me. I found the founder's name, which is, I'm going to totally butcher this, so I apologize, but it's Sumaro Zaza. And so I found him on LinkedIn, cut and pasted his name straight into LinkedIn. And I totally reached out. Fan mail, straight up fan mail. And I just wrote, love your product. Been such a genius idea. Why didn't I think of it? As with most ideas, why didn't I think of it? I had to send this to you and just say, like, this is amazing. You guys, do you know what happened 7 minutes later? Glenn, Daniel, Jeffrey, any idea what happened 7 minutes later? Okay. 7 minutes later, he's already written me back. Boom. Already wrote me back. And I wanted to actually read his note word for word for you. Okay. So his note said, Kim, this note made my day. I just read this to my entire team. Thank you for supporting startups like us and counting you as a super fan. Okay. So that one email not only touched him, but it had touched his entire team. Okay. That one little deed touched everyone. And so, I want to know, have you ever messaged a company or a founder to say that you were a fan? And if so, what was that company? And I'm curious because I tend to do this with apps and products. But I think I'm going to start doing it with restaurants and places I go to as well, because I think a nice note and a reminder that you're doing something well is so needed right now. It's so desperately needed. And I made a Monday morning message that I put on LinkedIn all about encouragement. I don't know if you saw it, but it's up there. It's about, if you didn't see it, it's about encouragement. It's about words of encouragement. It's about encouraging those around you. It's powerful. It's powerful. Brian, I love Canyon Coffee too. Okay, but now you have to email them or tweet at them or Instagram message, DM that. You can slide into their DMs and totally tell them how great they are. Totally tell them how great they are. Because I think that that's so important, that people feel like, yes, they're eating my food or they're drinking my coffee or they're using my product or they love my app. That is so powerful. And, that note I sent yesterday took 5 minutes. Okay. Went on the website, copy and pasted the guy's name, copy and pasted it into LinkedIn, click the little message tab and messaged him. 5 minutes, but wrote me countless emails about how much it made his day, how much it made his whole team's day. And so, maybe do a little that this week, maybe once or twice, to things that you like or use. And, because I think everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to be appreciated. And those things are always true. But I think right now, in this specific moment, it's needed more than ever before. I did a poll last week and I asked how everyone was feeling. There's a lot going on between work and the pandemic and protests and kids, everything. It's a lot. And so over 500 people took this poll, and the options were not great, just okay, good, and great. And the amount of people who answered great are obviously great, great. Everyone who answered something not great means that there's room that they can emotionally improve. And the results of that poll, 80% of people were either not great, just okay, or good, which means that little email, that little tweet, that little DM, that little LinkedIn message, that little kind word, that little piece of encouragement, good job, I see you, you are seen, you are heard, you are appreciated, that can go a long way. And 80% of 500 people is a lot of people that can use that little bit that you might be there to give. And so, and I know I sent a message on LinkedIn, but there could be other ways. And so, what are some ways that you've encouraged someone that you maybe work with, that they're doing something well? Because I think work is, we spend 12 hours a day, 5 days a week working. So, how can you encourage the people that you work with who, by the way, you're sometimes dealing with more than your own family? Yeah, you're dealing with people at work more than you're dealing with your own family. And so how are you encouraging those people? Is it texts? Is it emails? Is it notes? Alvin, I love that somebody wrote a note to you, a handwritten note. Glenn, I love handwritten notes. I literally cried when Papyrus said that they were going out of business. Physical tears. Okay, I love a handwritten note, but I hope we can get some inspiration from each other, some things that are working for you that maybe can work for me, or some things that are working for me that can work for you. How can we encourage our teams? How can we encourage the people around us? How can we continue to make them feel seen, heard, and appreciated? What are you doing in your place of work to make people feel seen, heard, and appreciated? Rich, handwritten note. Oh, with a gift card. Maybe from Help Main Street. See what I did there? It all comes full circle. A handwritten note with Help Main Street. I feel like we're on to something. Oh, Polk paper. I don't know what that is, but it has paper in the title, so I already love it. Done. Okay, Googling that after our meeting. 100%. Done and done. I feel like with encouraging people on your team, a lot of times it's also just people don't know how. Like, they're really awkward. Like, they don't even know how to tell people good job. I know, when I was working at Condé Nast, my boss, I will not name names, but like, I was convinced she actually didn't even know how to give encouragement. Like, she never smiled. She never said a kind word. Like, I'm honestly convinced she didn't know how. Like, incapable of saying nice things. So, any sort of, it's very hard. Oh, the person, yeah. Yeah, I think if you have to deliver bad news and you're trying to show encouragement, that's definitely hard to do at once. Like, that definitely, I think, has to be a one day's encouragement and one day's bad news type of thing. That's really hard. Ryan, I love this idea of one-on-one meetings and having an agenda. I think that that's really powerful. And again, now that we're all on digitally, you could also just crank, even if you want to go down to 15 minutes, you could crank them out really fast to just let people know, hey, thanks for that report you did, or thanks for that presentation. It looked amazing. I think that that's really important. And I think that, one of the keys to success, at least, for me in a small business, is encouragement and appreciation. Like, that's how your team's going to move forward. Like, that's how your team's going to kick butt and kill it, is when they feel seen, heard, and appreciated. And so, I'm all about that encouragement life. I'm also all about, as you know, encouraging young people. I'm obsessed with young people, mentorship, internships, talking to schools, high schools, colleges, groups, junior achievement. I love all of it. I love all the young people. I feel like the young people are our future. They're going to change the world. So anyways, I don't know if you have a young person in your life. I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if you have nieces or nephews or siblings that are young. And by young, I mean like 15 to 19. But I've partnered with Junior Achievement for an interview series next Wednesday. It is an hour before this, which I think is kind of funny. So it's basically, I'm going to be at the kids' table starting at noon Eastern. And then I come to our coffee meeting, the adult table, at 1. So I'm going to drop a link in the comments. I'm going to put a link here. But if you know any young people, please, 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 please send them this link. These kids, they are not in school right now. A lot of camps are canceled. They are home on Xbox or TikTok or Snapchat. I don't know what they're on. But if we can access them and we can touch them, and I think I'm sort of cool. They can ask me about Shark Tank and Oprah and Taylor Swift and Shawn Mendes and I don't know, things that young people find interesting. And then hopefully we can slip in some business talk in there too. So if you know anybody, next Wednesday, it is for young people. Please send it to young people. Please give it to your kids or nieces or nephews or cousins or young humans in your life. Please give it to young humans. Because I just feel like, again, the encouragement and just touching people, it's just, it's so important right now. And it's so important to access people when they're home, because they're home, and why not? So I feel like it's also a great time because I think a lot of people are interested in startups and entrepreneurship, and they have the whole summer. Maybe their camp is canceled, so they want to start a side hustle or a business. I mean, I think that's true for adults and young people, but especially young people. But I think it's great because I think now's the time. But also now is the time to search for resources and find resources like these talks and not send general emails. And I don't know if anybody else is getting this. You probably are. But I've been seeing a lot of general emails lately. A lot of people are guilty of this. Very general emails that are getting sent on LinkedIn or getting sent directly to your inbox. And it's really, it's kind of the bane of my existence, these general emails. And so the general emails can be like, hey, what does your company do? Or, hey, can I have an internship? Or, hey, can you help me with this? And you're like, what? Why is this general? What are you asking for? I'm like so confused. So I just wanted to talk a hot second on these general emails and 3 ways that you can avoid sending general emails. Okay. If you are sending an email, and again, this is for a young person, this is for us, this is for older folks, it's for everybody, that when you send an email to someone, you obviously want a response back. And so if you send a general email, you will likely not get a response back. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're selling something. I don't care if you're asking for a meeting. I don't care what you're doing. Delete it without reading it. Exactly, Daniel. Like, done, won't even reply. So if you're like actually looking for a response, here are 3 things that you can do to get a response. So number 1, I have this phrase, and it says, and the phrase is, ask 3 before me. And what that means is, I used to use this a lot with my team, which means you had to ask 3 people or ask 3 resources, aka Google or YouTube or, you know, any of these search engines, the question and try to find the answer before you ask me. I have people that literally email and say, what does your company do? We have a LinkedIn, we have a website, we have an Instagram. You can easily find out what my company does. Like, you just look for it. And so look for something in 3 places before you ask somebody for it. So that's number 1. Number 2, ask for resources from somebody, not their time. So if you're trying to reach out to someone and say, hey, I see that you sell cement. I looked through a bunch of your stuff. I couldn't find anything about how to deal with cement in the summertime. I don't know, I'm making this up. You know, I checked your website, I checked your podcast, I checked this, you know, I couldn't find anything about that. Do you have a resource that I can access which shows me how I can get this information? Because there might be someone who just says, oh, here's a blog post you didn't see, or here's, you know, something you might have missed, a podcast episode, and then you can go, great, here, I got my answer. Instead of let's get on the phone for 30 minutes and I can tell you something that could easily already be out there. You just haven't found it yet. So that's number 2. I would say number 3 is, if you want a response from someone, and this is so key, what is in it for them? Okay. So like the Jerry Maguire, like, show me the money. Like, what is in it for them? Why would they respond to you? What is your peace offering, if you will? And so I'll give you an example, because sometimes I think real life examples are easier. So if I wanted to email Richard Branson and I wanted him to film a video for me, okay, I would not send him an email saying like, hey, can you get on a video telling me about Virgin Atlantic? No, because he's done 100 videos like that. And if you went on YouTube, you'd be able to find it. So if I emailed Richard Branson and said, hi, can I get on your calendar to talk? No, like, absolutely not. Now, if I emailed him and said, hey, I really wanted to find out about how you did XYZ with Virgin Atlantic, can't find anything online, you know, can you point me to a resource? Maybe his assistant would answer and send me to an article. Bye, Ryan. Thank you for coming. You know, but if I send an email to Richard Branson saying, I have a newsletter with 8,000 seniors from your hometown of Black Health. Can you send me one piece of advice to these 2020 graduates, which I'm going to include with a link to buy your book and a short bio of you? Are you able to do that? There is a much higher likelihood that he's going to respond, maybe not him, maybe someone from his team, to that email. Why? You're saying that there's something in it for him, which is access to 8,000 young people who might buy his book if you're including a link. That's a huge access point. You're also relating it to him because that's his hometown. He's already going to show that that's, you know, really important. Oh my God, Alba, I promise this is fun. If she's forcing you, it's probably for a good reason, which is we tend to be a fun group. Okay, Jen, Veronica, me, we're typically pretty fun. So it is really important, if you want to send an email that gets answered, that you are really showing people what's in it for them. And so I don't know if there's a trick that you use in a way that you've gotten people to respond to you in emails, but that has worked so well for me, which is like, what's in it for you? I'm going to show you what's in it for you. And that's why you're going to get back to me about this email. And so if there are ways that you've gotten people to respond to you, What is it? Like, what's the trick that you're like, every time I do this, every time I add this thing, every time I send it at this time on this day, or I don't know, send it with balloons, I get a response, because that is going to be key. I think that Alba, if you're looking for an internship, if you're looking for a job, this is going to be really important, because you're going to want people to respond to you, and you're going to want people to email you back about that internship, about that job, about that opportunity, about that job shadowing. I think that that's so important, that you have to frame your emails, you have to frame your outreach in a way that makes people want to write back. Bernard, I'll see you next week. Because that's just so important. Creative subject lines, that's a good one. You know what I used to do? I used to use knock jokes. Not kidding. The subject of the email would say knock knock. And then the first part of the email, I would make up some like little thing like, who's there? And then I would say something like, not you, because you're not answering. I mean, it was a little more funny than that, but it definitely made people laugh. I read my emails as an audience before sending. Yeah, I mean, definitely trying to read it as the other person and see like, would I even answer this? Do I even think that this is a good email? I think that that's really important. And it's definitely important to get people to respond as much as you can. And so, I'm curious, speaking of responses, and like, I want to hear from you and your responses, kind of like, what's a roadblock you're facing this week? What's something that you're struggling with or kind of hitting a wall on? What's something that you just are really thinking, I need a little bit of creative juice around this issue or this obstacle, or maybe not problem, but maybe challenge that you're finding? Because I think, again, going back to encouragement and community, that an easy way for us to think about how to get over those challenges, or think about how to conquer those obstacles, or together, is getting in the weeds together and figuring things out, because something that might work for me might work for you, or something that might work for you might work for me. So if there's a chance that you're facing a roadblock, I might be facing something kind of similar, and vice versa. So, for me, sometimes that's getting people to answer the emails, but, for you, I don't know. What is it for you? Jen, my roadblock challenge, finding where the people are that I help, like I'm curious, like where they are physically, or where they are in their journey of where you can access them. I feel like there's a lot of, that question can go in so many directions based off of how you're reading it. Keith, asking for their opinion usually gets a reply. Your free diamond subject line. I love that. Like, you've won a vacation. Maybe I should start trying that. Like, you've won a $500 Amex gift card, and then open it up and be like, just kidding. I actually just really wanted you to open this. That actually might make people really mad. So I don't know about this. Jen, I help leaders communicate through conflict as a speaker and a coach. I think there's lots of people who are struggling with how to deal with conflict right now. I think probably entire companies could use you right now. I think tough conversations are, to Whitney's point, definitely a lot of those conflicts and tough conversations are happening right now, in companies, in teams, in families, in friend groups. I think a lot of that is happening. And I think, the sort of nugget that I keep coming back to is, it's not going to happen overnight. I think in this culture of instant everything, oh, just Google it and Google, we're not going to solve some of these tough conversations that we have to have in one sitting. That's why there are entire HR departments that, coach teams or coach players or coach people. I think that it's important that we know that this is a marathon and it's not a sprint. Leadership visibility is also really tricky right now, knowing what people are doing, knowing how they're spending their time. I think, I've talked about it before, but we have daily meetings every morning on video so that we can actually see each other as a team and check in. I think that's really important. Maybe that would help you. And Daniel, I think we're all struggling with keeping a positive attitude. And I think, like I've said before, like this is hard. Like no one's, I think, skipping and riding their unicorn into work every day. So I think keeping positive is also, for me, I've been looking at it as a decision, not I have to work out, not I have to log into this Zoom call, not I have to, I get to log into this Zoom call. I get to work out today because it's a beautiful day. I have the opportunity to clean these dishes because we've just had an amazing meal. So I think the power of words and the messages that we tell ourselves are very powerful. So that's worked for me. Maybe that can work for you too. Just sort of those word shifts, that like reframe has been really, really helpful. Stefan, reproachful in an email. Yeah. Do not do that. Never be accusatory. And also, I think emails are really tricky. I think people try to fix it with emojis. Like if I put a happy face, then they'll know that I'm kidding or I'm fine. Oh, I've seen like so many cringe-worthy emails go out where I can tell someone was joking, but someone didn't get the joke and now they're offended. And it's just like, it's like terrible and awful. So, I would say keep your humor for things like this, or you can see each other and laugh, and like, don't do that over email because it doesn't always work as much as you think it's going to. But yeah, I agree, Jen. The mindset and the words are, again, for me, it's been super important. But for other people, it's going to be what's really working best for you. And again, I think that's why I love this so much. Us, having this moment together, because these are where the nuggets happen. Like the minute Keith shares something, I'm like, the rest of the day, I'm like, yes, like what he said, like that makes so much sense. Or, Jen or Veronica, like in my head, or Ryan, I'm going, yeah, Ryan's so right. Like, why am I not doing one-on-one meetings with my team? So I think that sharing our thoughts and our struggles and what's working for us, like it really helps others kind of set off that spark, that aha moment that to you, it seems like, oh yeah, I've been doing these one-on-one meetings, but to somebody else, they're like, why didn't I think of that? That's amazing. So I think it's important if you're hesitant to share, or you think, oh, I'm not going to share this because everyone's doing this. Don't hold back, because we need your genius with us here in the group. So, I so appreciate you, by the way, sharing the roadblocks that you're facing so that we can collaborate on it together. Like I said, I look forward to Wednesday every single week. It's really exciting for me. And, Daniel, I know you've been struggling with a positive attitude. Maybe this, can be something that you look forward to, our coffee meeting every Wednesday, because I know it's certainly something that I look forward to. So I want to be respectful of your time and, the things that you have to get to today. And so I wanted to, as always, say thank you, for your wisdom, for your advice, for your comments, for your helpful tools that you shared. I hope you can join me again on Wednesday next week, same time, same place, same location. I will drop a calendar link in these comments because if you are like me, you live and breathe by your calendar. I'm going to literally have in my calendar like call mom blocked off so that I don't forget to do it. So if you are like me and you are like that, I got you. The calendar invite is in the comments so that you can hold this day next Wednesday with us. I'm also really, if you think that there's somebody interesting or a type of person interesting that you would want me to bring on, let me know. If it's a founder or a podcast person or a business person or I don't know, like types of people, don't say Oprah. Okay, guys, we're gonna that's a little bit of a stretch for our 4th Coffee with Kim. Don't want to spring something too early. But if there is somebody interesting, please let me know. And if not, you'll just have to trust me because I will pick somebody all on my own. But thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. Sending a big, big cheers from me to you, to Jeffrey, to Rich, to Richard, to Ryan, to Colin, to everybody who was able to join. Thank you. Happy Wednesday. Happy week. I will see you next week. Cheers.